How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Creative Process. We've got a very special treat for you today. I'm honestly so excited. This has been booked for quite a long time, so I'm so excited to share with you. Today, I have, from my left side, we got Nellie, we got Camilla, and we got Liberty on the very end. How are we doing today?
Good. So good. How are you?
Amazing, amazing. I want to say, first of all, thank you for taking the time out of all your schedules. I can't say just one schedule because you've done all three of you to come into. We're in Cat Scratch Studios today, so big shout out to Alexis for letting us use the studio, and yeah, for talking about your very special trio that you are working on right now in the 2022. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Oh, thanks for having us.
It's all good. And so I guess, to not leave people in suspense, what do the three of you do as a trio? Tell me all about it. What do you guys do?
Well, there's a few things we do. What don't we do?
Oh, you guys are amazing.
The ironing. We don't do the ironing.
No. So we dance, we sing, we dance together, we dance solo, we use our feather fans as well. So
we tassel twirl.
Yes.
Yeah. The tassel twirler queen, as we say.
Extraordinaire.
Yes, exactly. And so what is the name of the trio that all three of you are part of?
We're called the Showgirls. I guess we came up with that name because, well, me being Camilla Cream, I wanted something to kind of go with the sweet of the cream. And what do you like in your coffee? Sugar and cream, that goes together. And I know I like a bit of alliteration as well. CC for Camilla Cream, Showgirls.
Nellie Noble.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue.
Bring in the chaos.
Yeah. Liberty Fox.
What I do.
She's our wild card.
That's right.
Amazing.
But it's nice that we get to blend all of our different skills and our personalities together in the group. We had our debut the other night and it worked so well. It was so fun performing together. And just looking at all of our different personalities. Yes, we were different, but it just gelled as well. It was really nice.
Yeah, I'm so proud of us.
Oh yeah, I saw the pictures and unfortunately I couldn't make that night, and I was just like, I had to line up with something when I was modelling somewhere else, but I loved the pictures and I think I shared one of them on that night because it just looked all amazing, and I'm just like, well, I'm so excited to finally see, which we'll be talking about those shows later on. Stay tuned to the end so you'll find out. And so I guess the inspiration for the Sugar Showgirls, so obviously all three of you are individual burlesque performers in your own right, so I guess what was the idea behind wanting to start the Sugar Showgirls as a trio? What was the story behind that?
It's always been something we've all wanted to do.
Yeah,
definitely.
The time was right.
Definitely. We'd all had a bit of an extended break thanks to COVID-19.
Yeah.
So it allowed some time to kind of reflect about what you want and things that you hadn't had a chance yet to do. And it was just good timing to collaborate with all of our numerous skills and personalities.
Definitely. I think the big thing about burlesque as well, because we're all burlesque performers, I suppose, primarily, there was that social aspect that we missed going to shows, being backstage with each other and getting to know people. So this was a way that we could sort of meet together on the reg and make some really fun art together.
Absolutely. And I think that is really cool after, interviewing each of you as a solo performer, and then now when I've been looking into all three of you and following you on the Sugar Showgirls, I think it's really great how I think you said that you all bring a different aspect into the Sugar Showgirls, and so it's kind of like it becomes like not just like a particular group that are based on only one thing, like you all bring something different to the group and different aspects to it. So I think that's really cool because you give, like, when you do performance, you give variety. So it's not just like going to be something classical, it's going to be something all mixed together. Like you're just putting everything in one basket and just blending it all together.
Just seeing what happens,
Exactly.
Always keep you very entertained.
Amazing.
Always something different.
Amazing, I love that. And I think sometimes it is like one of those things where you kind of go like, what can I do that is new and fresh? And then, you three come along and go, you know what, let's just put it all together and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And create the Sugar Showgirls, and that's what we're gonna show everyone.
We can put together a whole variety show with just the three of us.
Amazing.
No one
I love
else.
that.
Lots of quick changes.
Very quick changes.
Quick in between and all
We're
that.
challenging us.
But I think as it's something good to do to challenge yourself, because I think you always should be trying to push yourself to challenge and do new things and be different. And because in a world where we're all seeing the same thing so many times, it's good to actually create something different. So I think it is definitely hard to create an original idea.
Yeah, and it's how you develop as a performer. You've got to challenge yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
I think also how the art form develops too. I mean, burlesque started out as something very different to what it is today. And, if it just stayed the same, then it wouldn't grow and evolve. It wouldn't get all these audiences in. It would just sort of die off. So, you've got to kind of reinvent it a little bit or add a new spin to it just to keep it going and, revive it a little bit.
Yeah. Just refresh it and kind of press the refresh button and go, this is what we're bringing now. This is what's happening right now in burlesque, not anywhere else.
As society evolves, so it essentially has to evolve with society to sometimes reflect what's going on and social commentary or
As art
satirical.
does.
So it's definitely got to grow with.
And it keeps it as a living art form rather than something that just happened in the past, Because we do have that, those golden eras, and I feel like we're in a new golden era now.
Oh, absolutely. The golden era of Sugar Showgirls. That's how we do it. And, so I guess, talking about your performances that you'll be doing in the future. So what are, I guess, for the audience watching, what are we to expect at a performance of the Sugar Showgirls to give an idea?
Oh, well, I suppose
without giving away too much.
Yeah, ooh. Our show in April, our 2 shows in April, are a big mix of a few different things. We do have a bit of a nod to the classic, golden era. We've got some really fun, silly, crazy neo-burlesque. We've got some old school, like jazzy classic numbers and songs. And a bit of the unexpected too. So we try and push things out there that you feel comfortable that, this is all going to plan, and then all of a sudden something will happen and it'll be something different.
But we'll ease you in.
Yeah.
Ease you in.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think, but it's always good, and I was talking to someone else about it, making, when you're giving the audience a type of performance and then they're kind of expecting something and then you take them the completely different opposite, you keep them interested, because sometimes if you're doing a performance and it's just the same thing, over and over again, when someone's watching, you're just kind of like, oh gosh, this is getting very repetitive. But then when you, I think someone was explaining, when you've got their attention, then they kind of start to drift off. Then you quickly change, and they're like, whoa, what is that? What just happened? So you kind of, in a way, it sounds like you're trying to take that approach, going, all right, we're going to take you on this journey, but then we're going to go that way, And I think that's really cool.
Best part of having reveals. Keep them on their toes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Keep them on their toes and keep going. I think that's incredible. Well, I'm very excited to, come to the show. I'm really excited to see how this goes. And, I've been watching all of you build up your profile and all that sort of thing, trying to support you as much as I can. And,
Thank you. You've done an amazing job supporting us too.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And it's because I think I was saying to Camilla in our interview, I don't think, when I've only just discovered burlesque, I don't think I've met a trio. Even though there's probably has been trios before, but I've never actually, because I'm only new to burlesque. So I think that's really cool to meet finally a trio that is also artists in their own right. So I think that's pretty special right there. And so asking about obviously you do your rehearsals for your shows and all that sort of thing, and obviously living in different parts of Melbourne, has that, I guess, and then obviously with COVID and all that sort of thing, has that been a challenge to get rehearsals done and all that sort of thing? Tell us the process of doing the rehearsals.
It is a challenge.
Oh, yeah. I think every rehearsal start, 30 minutes late?
Yeah.
At the moment.
Up until last week, we lived completely different corners. I was south of the city, they're both northwest of the city, so it's it was very hard, but I've moved a little closer now. So it's gonna be bit easier now, but we do have dedicated times each week where we make sure that we commit to getting together and getting something done. So.
Yeah.
Even if it's virtually, you know,
Yes.
even if it has to be online just for a quick meeting. It's
Got to do what you're going to do and got to adapt.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
adapt.
It's I guess thank goodness for we got introduced to Zoom because of that, you know.
Yeah.
Being able to do interviews online and all that sort of thing, and doing like rehearsals online, that does really help. And but yeah, no, I think that's really awesome that because you know some people like would use that, and I know like people have used that as an excuse, going like, oh, because of this, I don't think we should do it. You know, we shouldn't do it, and they just don't commit to it. But it's really amazing how the three of you are still committing to it, going like, no, you know what, this is what we want to do, and we're going to keep pushing it. We're going to keep going, and I think that's really cool because it shows how passionate you are about this project and about this trio. So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. I think we lead pretty similar lives too. You know, we've got the day job, and you know that we know when our balance sort of happens. And we did have a big chat at the beginning of, okay, we're all going to do this. What are the things we're going to agree on? And we all came to that agreement together and said, yep, before we move forward. I think that was really important to establish those sort of, not like rules or anything, but you know, things that we agree
We
to.
didn't sign a contract.
Yeah.
There's not a physical contract going, you know, being a sugar girl.
Yeah,
you know.
We cut our palms and did a blood.
Oh gosh.
We're blood sisters now.
Actually, the craft.
Amazing. I think that's really great, and I think that's for any partnership when you're doing any artistic partnership. I think it's always good to create those, like, I guess you could say these like terms and conditions between everyone, going, okay, you know, I can do this, I can do that, but I'm not going to do this. And I think it creates this really good understanding, and then also a good working relationship moving forward. So that, like, if something comes up and you're just like, oh, actually, I did not want to do that. It's like, but you didn't say that before. But it's like, but you didn't ask that from me, you know. So I think that's good that you actually sat down with each other and talked about what the plan is and what you were going to do. And you know, I think that's good.
Yeah, we're pretty good with communicating as well with each other. We're in touch on a daily
Basis.
We're pretty on top of what's going on and all sorts of things.
Amazing. Yeah. And so you definitely think that if people want to start a trio or any group, communication is very important.
With any relationship, absolutely. Communication is key.
Life throws all sorts of things at you, and having that balance as well. So it's you know, having, you know, we're all committed to our general agreement, but also understanding that life happens and you got to be flexible sometimes. So it's
absolutely. And I definitely think you're right that, like, in any relationship, either it's working, personal, there has to be strong communication with everything, because, you know, like, it helps build a good foundation of trust and just honesty. Because, you know, then if, like I said, something comes out and it's like, well, you didn't say that before, and it's like, well, you didn't ask me, and then you just start this whole like cycle of just all this conflict, and then suddenly it's like, nope, we're done.
We set the expectations.
Amazing.
We haven't had a fight.
Yes, And so I guess, you know, with your like performances and all that, like, I know that the three of you said that you also bring each of different performance that you guys have done throughout all your other gigs. Do you have, like, I guess, troupe outfit, like, that you wear, like, together? Like, have your own outfit that you've decided to wear as a trio? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've you might get to see one of them soon. And we're working on some other ones as well. So yes, expect
wonderful group acts coming up.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We've been working very hard on them, and we're really excited about them. So very keen to get them on stage.
They won't make you feel blue.
Oh, krypton.
Very, very good hint. So I think I'm looking at them right now, which the people on the camera can't see, but you're going to have to find out, and probably stay tuned to both of our Instagrams. Links will be in the description, so you might have to wait and see. So I always love keeping the audience in suspense. You know, we just keep it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, the art of tease.
You are now a burlesque performer.
Welcome to the fold.
Thank you. By default. Amazing. And I guess, you know, as so tell us about, so you've got the 2 shows coming up in April. Tell us all about those 2 shows that will be coming up, that where people can come and watch you?
Oh, sure. It's called the Shed Theatre, and it's at a venue called the Pig and Whistle. It doesn't sound so fabulous, but it's definitely, it's a bit rustic, but it's absolutely gorgeous, out on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. So it's the 29th and the 30th of April, and yeah, we've been working our little tushies off, getting not just our group routines ready, but the whole show from start to finish. And like we said, it's just the 3 of us. There's no one else. It's just us sticking it together. So yeah, we're thinking really creatively about how the show can flow and to be a little bit different to any other burlesque or cabaret show you might have seen. So yeah.
So you want to bring that different aspect to, like, you know, when people are expecting, like, to come, they're obviously going to a burlesque show, but then they're going to a different type of burlesque show.
There's no MC.
Yeah, and I think even us as performers going to other shows or being in shows, you do get in the flow of things and you know what a burlesque show is going to be, and it always sort of follows that format. This one doesn't quite follow that format. Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah.
So do you think that definitely has helped, as you said, that you obviously as performers you've seen so many, you've probably lost count of how many shows you've all seen. Like, has that probably helped create your own show where you can kind of go, all right, you know, this is usually what the formula is, so let's try to actually make this not just any typical burlesque show. Like, has that really helped?
Absolutely. You get inspiration and you see what works and you see what could be better, and then you just take the best and add some sugar showgirl flair to it. Sugar.
Voila!
Or a lot.
I think it was good not just looking at burlesque too. Like, we all come from some different backgrounds, like in music and dance, and that, you know, looking at other dance or theatre shows and cabaret and how do they run and what can we take from that to put into burlesque to make it something different too. So it's not just our burlesque, you know, cabaret, but also, you know, theatre and music and dance too.
Amazing. I think that's incredible. Like, just, I think it's always definitely good to have a background research of what you're actually going to be performing and all that sort of thing, because I think it does show as well in shows when you've actually properly researched and, you know, gotten a really strong idea of what you're going to be introducing to the audience.
Yeah,
I think that's always very special.
Yeah, it's always a delight to see a performer who knows her history and you can see it come out in her acts. I love that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think by the sound of it, everyone's in for a rockin' ride in late April. It's going to be the month of Sugar Showgirls. Just, you know, let's.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be amazing. And so I guess, you know, as another question, so like I know that a lot, which I find really interesting, that like throughout posts on your Instagram, you're showing a lot of like, what is burlesque, what is this, like, what is the, I guess, you know, what is the meaning behind showing these types of posts, and like, what are you trying to get across by doing these posts about it?
Go for it.
I think I just want to educate our audience and bring new people into burlesque, because a lot of people they're like, what is burlesque? They just don't know, and they're like, oh, they don't really want to go to a show that they don't know what it is. So
or they have an idea of what maybe just classic burlesque is, and educating them the fact that there's such a wide range of burlesque. It kind of blends. It can blend across, you know, neo, circus, gore,
can be anything.
drag. There's a lot of kind of melding between art forms with burlesque as well. I think a lot of people don't realise that, so it's nice to kind of give them a taste.
I definitely, because like, I mean, when I was pretty much one of those people who were like, what is burlesque? And I'm like, and then when I got introduced to it, I didn't actually realise there was all these different styles that, like I said, classic neon, is that? Neon? Not neon.
I mean, it's neon too.
And but I think that's one of the great things, is that there's also no limitation to what you can do. And I think, Liberty, we were talking about that in your interview when you were talking about your acts, and like with your ones, there's no limitations what you can come up with, and I think that's amazing. And it's like you kind of, when you think you know the formula, like most of the audience, as we said, then you flip it around and go, oh, okay, this is different, you know. So it's like, burlesque is just this art form within itself. You can't really, I think I said this with you as well, you can't really put it as any other art form, because it's in its own right as an art form.
It's like a Venn diagram that everything else can kind of cross into burlesque.
Exactly. It's like, oh yeah, that's included. Yeah, that's included. Oh yeah, that's included. You know, that's just as I said, blending it all together, and then you get burlesque.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've had the conversation about it being really freeing as well.
Yeah.
Like we came from dance, and that everything was regimented, and like all the moves, like you had to have a movement for every beat and every second, and then you get to burlesque and it's like, oh, I don't have to do that, and I can combine this and this and this and create something new. So the
I
freedom
can have
is nice.
facial expressions.
Yeah.
Not just pleasant face.
Just straight face, and the audience just watching your movements. Like they look so sad.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're dancing. Why are you so sad?
Yeah, and you can actually just take the time to just hold space on stage and just connect with the audience. And like I came from music theatre before I got into burlesque, which is like you have a director, you have a choreographer, you have a costume person, you have a prop person. Burlesque, it's like you do everything yourself, which is a new thing, but it's a good challenge to be your own everything.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be kind of being your own boss.
Yeah.
So saying, this is how I'm going to do it. I don't have anyone to say, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, you don't have a director. You don't have a stage choreographer. You're your own choreographer and director.
Yeah, you can do what works for you and what you feel the act should be as well, without having very harsh restrictions on what you can and can't do, really, which is great.
Yeah.
It's more flexible.
Yeah. I think in saying that too, there's a lot of camaraderie between performers as well, that we'll ask for feedback on each other's acts too. So even though you are the sole choreographer and costume designer and everything, once you've created something, it's good to kind of get a bit of feedback from someone that you trust and go, hey, what do you think of this? I'm not too sure of this part. Can you give me an idea? Or, and then you can kind of build and evolve that way, which is kind of nice being together, because then we can come to choreography and build on it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, and I think that's, I think any constructive criticism, I was talking to another friend who's an artist, like there's a difference to obviously putting someone down, saying, oh no, that's not good, get rid of it, and just then to actually say to someone going, this is really good, but have you thought of possibly doing this? Like giving it in a constructive way. And I think that, as you said, it's probably really good that you are all part of a trio where you can kind of go, oh, let's make our performances even better. Let's keep encouraging each other to go, all right, what if you try doing this? What if you try doing that instead? It's like, I did not think of that. Because sometimes it's actually good to have that outside help, because sometimes we don't see stuff that, like I've had people look at my work and then they say, why don't you try this? And I'm like, I did not see that. I'm just like, I did not think about that, but like, and then it's actually worked. It's like, wow, I'm like, I can't believe I didn't see that before, So it's always good to have that outside help, because, and obviously in a constructive way, not in a putting down way, because that, that doesn't help anyone. At the end of the day, it doesn't help.
Yeah, there's definitely an art to giving feedback.
Yeah.
And it needs to be asked for, not unsolicited.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just some random coming up to you saying that was bad. It's like, thank you.
It's like people that aren't performers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's like, what do you know about performing again? Do you want to try this?
You want to give it a go?
It's like, I'm just trying to be constructive. It's like, well, do you know what to do in this?
Everything that goes into the background, everything has to work, from the costumes to the props to the choreography, the music. It has to all be very workable and like all the moving parts that go into it. So you get to see the fun, fancy bit, but there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes.
It's like the iceberg.
Yeah, I was just thinking it too. The tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
And then like you have like, I guess you could say the tip of the iceberg is the performance, but then underneath it is everything that goes into it to make that tip.
All the mistakes and the injuries and that didn't work. I got stuck in my costume. The zipper's broken. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Those last minute changes you have to do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, like it. And I couldn't imagine, like could not begin to imagine if that was to happen, where you have that happen on stage. But I've like had so many people say that they've been able to work it in really well, and so I think that's actually really amazing.
Yeah, you have to be adaptable.
Oh yeah.
If something doesn't want to come off, then okay, we're going to keep it on and work around it.
Pretty much just work around going, okay, you're going to act like this? Well, this is what I'm going to do right now.
Yeah. Or if you do something way too early, you're like, oh, now what do I do?
Yeah, it's like this dance just going, hi. Gosh, like, but no, I think that's great that, as you said, you have to adapt, to, sometimes there are mistakes that are made on stage. And unfortunately, you can't really say to the audience, "Can I like restart?" It's like, no, you can't. I mean, it would be
Forget
amazing.
that bit.
Yeah,
just
do it
forget
again.
that. I mean, you could just imagine like going to theatre play on stage and then you just saying to the audience, "Just one moment for a second. What was the line again?" Okay, that was right. Yeah, you know, it's like unfortunately we can't do that, and you know, and sometimes like I don't know if you've had this happen. Sometimes like when you have to improv that, sometimes it actually works out to be better.
Yeah, sometimes it does. Absolutely.
And it's like, I don't know if you've, like with your, I guess like talking about the first performance that you did on literally last Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday. And tell us about how'd that go for a first performance.
Really well, I think.
Yeah. Just 3 smiles just go across the face, just like, yeah.
There was a fun little bit where I turned the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm committed to it now. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah. My headpiece kept slipping forward.
Oh no.
What else happened? I tripped on my skirt a couple times, but you can't tell.
Yeah. I mean, we watched it back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It's important that we watch it back and then we know how to improve it and what needs
What
polishing.
needs changing and
Yeah.
I think, definitely always adapting. Like as we're talking, always adapting, always changing, and not being afraid for change. Because some people are so afraid of change. But it's like, tell them to bring on the change because it makes you better.
It does.
Yeah.
It's not being like married to things as you mapped out, and if, you know, there's no other way around it. So if you're a bit flexible and say, okay, well that didn't work when we were on stage, so let's revisit that, or you know, my body didn't do that naturally, so let's you know, rethink how to do it. So I think having an element of not just flexibility but being able to improv a little bit
Absolutely.
as well is good.
Especially adapting to the stage that you're on or the audience. You need to
we were talking about that.
Yeah, you need to make the space work for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, Camilla, we were talking about that literally in your interview, where pretty much saying that it's good to have a space, like a small space, so you can adapt from, if it's a bigger stage, it's like, okay, that's easier, I can adapt. Then doing it the other way, having a bigger stage, and then adapting to something that's literally like the size of a square, and you're just like, oh gosh, I didn't think of that. You know, it's like...
Especially with the 3 of us, I think it's easy to start small and get bigger.
Yes.
Whereas if we're used to, you know, traversing across a stage and then all of a sudden we've got a 2x3,
oh bugger, we are in trouble right now.
fall off.
And there are a lot of very small stages in Melbourne.
There are some very tiny stages, which like literally maybe even half of this shit. The audience can't see it, but like literally the half of that, and you're just kind of like...
And some odd-shaped ones too, you get sometimes. Yeah, I had a really odd-shaped one last year actually, and there were like steps and then like more steps, and I was like, I'm gonna make it work.
And it's like, I didn't realize it's gonna work out during this performance. I'm like,
get my step count up.
Amazing. And I think it's, as you said, it's like just, I think we've been talking really a lot about adapting to the changes in the world, but then also changes in our lives to even performance spaces. I think it's always good to keep adapting, because as you know, you never know when you go from a stage that, as you said, like a very misshaped stage where there's like 3 steps where you're just like, okay, all right, how am I gonna do this, to like a big stage, like probably that is even twice the size of this room, you know, like it's...
That would be a dream.
It would be nice.
Oh gosh, yeah. Like, and so about the April performances and all that, was there a particular reason why you decided to focus on doing your, I guess, first event at a place, like, I guess not in the city, but like outside of Melbourne? Like, what was the reason behind that?
Yeah, a couple of reasons, I think. I did a show there in December, and I really liked the space and the people. I think that was really important, that the people that worked there were really friendly and easy to work with. And they were really keen to get some more burlesque, because that was the first time that their audience had seen burlesque, and they loved it. They're like, what is that? How do you do it? Where do you do this? So there was a bit of a need for it. And I spoke to these 2 and said, hey, what do you think? And I think there's a lot going on in Melbourne, in the city as well. There's shows almost on every night. Whereas in more regional, not that Mornington Peninsula is technically regional, but you know, out in the outer suburbs, they tend to not have as much burlesque or cabaret out there. So it's kind of, you know, bringing burlesque to the people.
And expanding the audience as well. Really, it's like it's good for the art form to expand the audience.
Absolutely. And I think, as you said, like some people who don't know, especially outside of rural, around rural Victoria, people might not know what burlesque is, so you're bringing that to the audience. And like I always love seeing, you know, when Australian artists, they don't just focus on, like for example Melbourne, I've seen people do rural tours where they literally go to a town of like 2,000 people and still put on a show, and I think that's really cool because they're trying to expand throughout and give everyone the opportunity to come see them. And so I think that's really cool that you've decided to go, you know, let's try and expand not just from Melbourne, who obviously a lot of strong communities that know burlesque, but go to places that might actually not know, and we can educate them on that. I think that's really cool. Do you think a goal for the three of you is to actually expand a bit more outside of rural Victoria, possibly?
I think we'd all love that. Yeah. So if you know of anyone that wants a show, definitely.
Yeah,
I'd love to do a regional tour.
Oh, well, I
Even
said
some fringe festival or something, maybe. Yeah.
amazing. I think I said this to you yesterday as well, Camilla, going like, even if you do regional, I'll step in as manager because I would love to manage all three of you. That would be amazing.
You mean
Just go-
honorary sugar show girl?
Yeah, exactly. I will literally come with you and photograph and record everything on your tour. Like,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be your official photographer for that
And we'll
day.
give you a feathery headpiece.
Yes.
Oh my God.
God.
Yes, actually, yes. Like this video if you'd like that. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'll wear that every time I do a video now as a
So
representation.
glamorous.
Oh yeah, absolutely fabulous. But as I guess a final question to the audience watching. So, you know, with you, the three of you trying to educate people on burlesque in regional areas and rural areas and all that sort of thing, I guess, is there something you would like to mention to the audience about what you guys do and all that sort of thing? Should we go down from Nellie to Liberty? Say one person says one thing at once, do you think?
Yeah, I think just expect the unexpected and don't kind of set, I guess an expectation of what you get, because whatever you see probably won't be what you expect. Especially if you have no idea what burlesque is. So come with an open mind.
Yeah, I love that.
I think it's just a really fun night out to have with, you know, with girlfriends. I mean, when we talk about burlesque and striptease, a lot of people who don't know burlesque think, oh, it's all for the male gaze. But it's actually, most of our audiences are predominantly women coming out with friends for a fun night out. I mean, the costumes are, you know, this sparkly and more, you know?
It's lots of sparkles.
It's just a really fun, entertaining night out that, to enjoy with people, with friends. Yeah, we like that community aspect.
Amazing.
Yeah, I
Liberty?
think overall it's just going to be a lot of fun. Everyone always finds something that they enjoy. We have quite a variety of different things, ranging from classic to cabaret to neo, and you know, something that you won't expect every time. So I think overall, if you go into it, I think it's a combination of what you both said, with an open mind and that you can have fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, I love that. Absolutely amazing answers right there. And as you said, expect the unexpected. Because, you know, I think for me, when I went to my first show, I didn't know what to expect. I only had saw clips on YouTube of burlesque performers and all that, and I'm like, I was kind of had that idea going, okay, this is what I'm going to see. And then I go to the show, I'm like, okay, I did not expect that. You know, it's like, I didn't expect that to, and as in a good way, going, oh my gosh, I love that so much. And now, but then it's awesome because every time I go to a show, and I've lost count of how many shows I've been to now in the last year, like there's always something different. And I think that's what's amazing, and I definitely agree with the three of you saying that the audience should definitely expect the unexpected and just enjoy, have fun, and just expect to have a good time at the same time. So I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
And so once again, thank you to the three of you for joining me on this very special edition of the Creative Process. I'm like, honestly, I've been so excited for this since we've booked this in. Yes, I'm like I was so excited, and then we're doing a photo shoot after, which I'm so excited for people to see the results. And it's just thank you to all three of you. You're absolutely amazing, and I wish you all the very best for any future performances and all that. And you can definitely expect me to be in the audience as well.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
And so for everyone watching at home, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of The Creative Process, this very special edition. If you want to check out the Showgirls, I will leave links to everything down below. I have interviewed all of them solo as solo artists. If you want to check out those videos, I'll leave those links down below as well, so you can check out what they do as solo artists and all that. I'll leave the link to also the tickets. Go and purchase your tickets right now. It was April 29th and 30th.
Yeah.
So yes, definitely go and check it out. And as I keep saying, let's keep supporting our amazing community. Support these lovely ladies on their journey to make it #1 as a trio. Yes, let's do that. Let's make this happen. That's my mission for the audience right now. Let's make these 3 really popular in the regional area. Let's yes, number one. Absolutely. And let's keep supporting our amazing community. Let's just keep pushing it. I think we can do really well already with this YouTube series. It has showed what happens when we can unite together and support our amazing community. And comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode.